Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. We're going to be doing the Hibiki endings today, and we're going to be starting with the Heavenly End, I believe. At least that's what it says here, Hibiki Heavenly End. So we're going to be starting with the Heavenly End, and then we're going to be going through the bad ends, and then I think it's called the Godly End is the last one we're doing. Alright, let's start with the Heavenly End. I'll leave timestamps down below as well. You can skip right to the ending. You don't have to watch any of the choices leading up to it, if you don't want to. With all the colors of the corpse flowers vividly on the page, I thought to myself, I want to go home, and in an instant I was back. Wasn't that convenient? Then I immediately collapsed on the ground of the school. When someone found me, I was rushed to the hospital. In the time of the real world, I had been missing for 9 days. My family was both happy to see me and upset I disappeared. Then, when I had recovered, I left the hospital. I know you could be upset, but don't be too upset, because after 9 days, I would think it'd be a miracle that you were even found, right? Because you start thinking worst case scenario at that point. You were taken by a kidnapper and never would be seen from again. After school, the halls dyed with color of twilight. I walked alone. The stained glass windows are really pretty. After checking to make sure nobody else was around, my hands reached out to the mirror. It's connected. Oh, really? How do you know? Then I felt my hand being sucked into the mirror again. Well, there you go. Just like before, it was like I was melting into a cool lake. Then I felt myself being pulled to the other side.
よかった。無事ですね。
You can see him? He hugged me and I felt the familiar warmth of his embrace. You could touch him? Aw, that's more than what Kurtahog got. That's not fair. I'm sorry it's been so long. Right after I got back,
知っています。僕、ずっとあなたのそばにいましたから。
Huh?
実は鏡から出て、あなたの様子を見ていたんです。
Really? But that's outside the school. What about your fear of leaving the school?
僕の心はもう、あの時みたいに弱くないから。闇に精神が侵される心配はないです。
Now that he mentioned it, well, yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that.
最近はクレハさんや他の幽霊とも交流したりして、僕も僕で前に進めています。
Really, that's amazing. Even though he decided not to cross over yet, it was nice to see Hibiki continuing to grow.
でも、いつも僕が見ているから会いに来なくても大丈夫。なんて、思わないでくださいね。
He sounds so pouty when he says that. He's like, don't you dare leave me.
あなたと触れ合わないと、やっぱり徐々に情緒不安定になるから、会いに来てくださいね。毎日、休み時間ごとに。
Can you still trap living people inside the mirror? That might be a little tough. If people saw me entering the mirror, it would cause quite a fuss.
そうなったら今度こそ、ここでずっと一緒に過ごして、表の喧騒からあなたを引き離すのも手かな？
I guess that answers my question. Kind of scary how serious you sound.
だって、本気ですから。
I know, right? Seeing him say those things with a straight face, I knew he was a little off. He's thinking some scary stuff. I should make sure to visit him often so he doesn't turn those thoughts into plans. But I also wanted to see him. Oh, but if you stay in the mirror even after I graduate, what are we going to do then? It's not like strangers can just waltz into the school whenever they want.
それなら、大看守様に相談するしかないですね。
You could just haunt the mirrors in her house then.
ああ、大看守様って言えば、あなたが帰ってからいくら経っても、僕が成仏してないから叱られちゃって。
I can totally picture that.
そういえば、今日あった小テスト、結構苦戦してましたね。
Is he gonna poke fun at you now? You don't have to watch over me that closely. And so the two of us talked casually, laughing as we did. It's getting late. I should get home before my family starts to worry. But on the other hand, I could hang out in the mirror until they cool down too. Will they cool down? I had quite the strange double life now, but I didn't mind as long as I was with him. This place in the mirror was Hibiki in my own happy little world. Oh, it's cute. I really like that moon, that picture. No CG for that one, but I know there's one in the godly end. But still, why did she get to touch and hug him? She didn't get to do that in Kuroha in either route. She could only see, no touch. That's not fair.
未だ成仏できないのはあなたのせいですよ。こんなに幸せな理由で成仏できないなんて幽霊の中で僕だけかも。明日も鏡の中で待っています。絶対に来てくださいね。愛しています。心から。
I forgot they do these at the end of the ends. Alright, let's save file 2 and don't talk to him. That's what we're doing. Chapter 7, so like the very first chapter after the common route. But it doesn't seem fair to complain given the hard life he lived. So I think this is in reference to what she's been dealing with in her life, and we're not going to talk to him. I should keep this to myself. I don't want to cause Hibiki any more problems. Thank you, but I really am fine. So don't worry about me. I ended up lying to him.
それならいいです。
He knows when she's lying, though. Hibiki responded with a bitter smile and seemed to move on from the topic.
それじゃあ行きましょうか。ここで立ち話をしていて幽霊に遭遇したら大変です。
Right. This is okay, right? He turned his back to me and started to walk away from me, and I followed after him. Then, in order to help Hibiki work through his lingering regrets, the two of us talked for a long time. But Hibiki still wasn't able to cross over. I began to get the sinking feeling that we weren't making any progress. I can't give up now. I've got to be strong. Besides, it's not like things like this will go well from the start, right? Doesn't know how wrong it's going to go. Hibiki, I'm fine, really.
ダメです。今のあなたは顔色が悪すぎます。少し休んでください。
But if we don't hurry up and find some clue to help you cross over...
お願いします。あなたに何かあったら、僕は。
Fine, I understand. Pushed by Hibiki's firm insistence that I rest, I headed to bed. I really don't want to sleep. But seeing his concerned face made my heart ache, and so I closed my eyes. This place always leaves me so unsettled. Whenever I fall asleep here, the dreams I have are always so emotionally draining. I'll try my best not to think of anything. Take a quick nap, that will make me feel better. With all the fatigue that had been building up inside of me, sleep came quickly. I heard some kind of sound. It kept ringing without stopping. Please, no. Not this dream again. The classroom from that day displayed itself in vivid colors again. No matter how many times we talk, it always ends the same. I hate this. I really hate this. But despite my protests, the ringing of the phone just wouldn't stop. Please stop this. Trying to escape from the sound of the phone, I got up and ran out of the room. What? I kept running through the school hallway, but no matter how much I ran, I couldn't see the end. Eventually, my vision faded to black.
あなた、何を言っているの?
Please stop. Just leave me alone.
そんなこと今さら。ダメよ。絶対に許しません。
What troubled me was not something in the hidden realm or the mirror world. It wasn't a ghost or an evil spirit. It was someone I loved, someone precious to me, the person I wanted to accept me more than anyone.
進路のプリントについては今日持って帰ってきます。早く記入して提出しておかないと。
Shut up! Just shut up! I shouted with all my might. My voice faded away, and in its place was a never-ending silence. Good. This is good. With silence, I could calm down. It would be fine if I never woke up. I don't need to hear anything, see anything, feel anything. Yes, that would be just fine. I don't need to open my eyes at all. Surrounded by this mysterious force, I feel like that sounds just fine. If I wish for it, I know, all my dreams will come true, right? Please, God, forever in a dream, free from painful thoughts. I slipped slowly into the darkness and let go of all consciousness. I got worried for a second because I thought I wasn't recording. I was like, no, take it. You know, it's actually kind of hard to read this because my 14-year-old is suffering from like depression right now, and so she's said a couple things like this before. That's the reason why I posted yesterday that I wasn't going to be recording anymore at night until we get her room switched, so at least the problem of me being noisy at night doesn't add to her stress level. That way she can focus at school and hopefully get some work done. Anyway, then we're going to go to probably this save right here. I'm going to crouch down, so not that one, this one right here. This is when he's telling her how he feels, and you can accept his feelings and kiss him, I think. I think that's this one. Or you can crouch down because he's getting closer to her. And this is what he wants her to do. He wants her to reject him. That was his goal. I'm going to crouch down. I'm so scared. Feeling an instinctive sense of danger, I crouched down instinctively. He said that word twice. What's he doing? Fearfully, I looked up at him. Uh-oh.
結局、僕への思いなんて、こんなものなんだ。
This is what you wanted, though. You're trying to push her away. You wanted her to reject you so you could send her home. He stared down at me with a cold gaze.
そんなあなたに、僕を成仏させることなんてできない。
Felt as though I was falling through the wall behind me, and suddenly I was bathed in the red light of the school.
あなたは元の世界に帰ってください。もう必要ありません。
But
それなら、もう一度、こちらの世界に来られますか？
with those creepy eyes, oh my goodness. My body froze at his icy smile. Next time I enter that world, he'll lock me in there for sure. No matter how much I try to resist him, he won't let me go. I didn't want to think of him like that, but my heart was filled with fear.
心配しなくても、いつかは成仏しますから。あなたはあなたの世界で生きてください。
Then he vanished suddenly from the mirror. You know, with everything that he said about how much he loved her and stuff, and then he does this mean thing. He said he knew it was mean to try to get her to reject him so he can send her back because he cares about her. But then he says all this stuff. I just don't know if he really does care either. He's so all over the place with his emotions. Hibiki. I called out to him, but he didn't respond. I reached my hand out towards the mirror, but I stopped him myself. I was simply too afraid. If I touched the mirror, he might drag me in and force me to stay there. I couldn't do it. Sorry. It was an apology from the bottom of my heart. In the end, I couldn't do anything. I just made him feel the way he did and couldn't respond to his affection. I fear all I did was hurt Hibiki. I just realized how pathetic I was. There you go, you're fading out again. My vision became warped and I felt a sharp pain in my head. This is bad. After that, Hibiki's blue flower was never colored in and my health was eroded by the air of this place. The 7 wonders did not awaken and being spirited away ended in my death. Are you trapped in the school now? The moment I died, the red world vanished and the school returned to its normal state. Oh, I was like, that's not the end, right? Because that would be a strange place to end. What happened? Have I become a wraith? I don't think so. When did that happen? I couldn't get close to the mirror with Hibiki. I couldn't bring my face to meet his. Or my family. I didn't even want to see him. I wanted to be alone. I didn't want to think about anything. Oh, that's right. Maybe I could be alone there. There was that story about a girl who was holed up in the girls' toilet. Oh, that's right. Caramel? I never bought her that caramel. I died. Sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry. Everything is my fault. Sorry. I knew there was nothing I could do to make him forgive me. It was all I can do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to read all that. Oh my goodness. Sorry all over the screen. Jeez. A lot of sorries. Maybe she did become a wraith. New ghost in the restroom. She became friends, you know. Maybe she chose a different restroom. Can you imagine, like, knocking on Hanako's door and be like, excuse me, is there room for 2 in there? Whatever. Okay. I don't know what the last save was for then. Maybe for... Oh, there's another one. Hold on. His thoughts were stained dark. Okay. But that's this one, right? Okay, so what's this one right here? Okay, that leads down to the godly end. We're going to go to here, and we're talking to Yui here in this one. And his regrets were strong, but now we're going to say his thoughts were stained dark. Hey Yui, do you remember what Seiya said before? He said that if you touched a ghost, the darkest parts of their memories would come back to me.
なんとなくは。確か、闇に染まっている思念があなたの精神を侵すというものね。
Invade my psyche. Yui's words made me gasp. I had completely forgotten about it, but when we touched before, I would get very painful headache. But the last time I touched Hibiki, I didn't feel any pain at all. Then when we kissed, I had that vision. Was that merely a memory from his past? Some of the things he told me before indicated that he had a deep hatred for Isaoskigami. I wonder if that memory was just a vision.
まさか、あなた響さんに触れたの？
Yeah, she kissed him. Leave me lost in the thought for so long, Yui seemed to have sensed something. Well, yes, but unlike when I touched him before, I didn't feel any sort of pain.
それなら、闇に染まっていた思いは、あなたのおかげでなくなったということではなくて？
I wonder. I had seen a ghost cross over with my own eyes before, and when their regrets were resolved, they disappeared right away. If Hibiki really disappeared, then it makes sense that the mirror world would go back to normal. Interpreting it in that way, everything seemed to fit together. If his darkest thoughts have been released, then everything is okay now, right?
詳しくはわからないけれど、おそらくは。きちんと成仏したのなら、再び闇に染まることはないでしょうね。
But if he didn't cross over... Yui said nothing. Or rather, she seemed to be unsure of the answer. But Hibiki said he thought he'd be able to cross over, so it should be okay, right? So the smile he gave me at that time looked so forced and fake. If he cared for me as much as he said, then of course he would have felt sad about saying goodbye. Maybe that was why.
もし正確に確かめたいのなら、私ではなく聖夜さんが来た時に聞いてみる方がいいのかも。
No, it's okay. I think Hibiki really did cross over.
それならいいのだけれど。
You don't seem certain.
見て、あなたのポケット。
Huh? With a surprised look on her face, you began pointing to my skirt pocket. The pocket with the survey in it. It's glowing? Oh. I quickly took out the survey to see all 7 flowers were fully colored in. Looks like I managed to connect with all the 7 wonders.
よかった。本当によかったわ。
Aw. This alternate ending where Hibiki does get to cross over. Yui bowed deeply as she expressed her relief.
今までありがとうございました。あなたにはお世話になりっぱなしで。
Please don't say it like that. Everything I did here, I did it because I wanted to. Besides, it was thanks to all of you that I was able to fill in the 7 corpse flowers. I should be thanking you.
あなたがここで学べたことは、うちしおに戻った後もきっと役立つと思うわ。
As she spoke, her face filled with an apologetic smile.
あなた、体が光に包まれてる。
The sound effect, it sounds like she's being whisked away by aliens. You're right, I guess it's really time for me to go. In my heart, I felt a sense of loneliness. Gently, I touched my lips. The cold sensation on them still lingered, and I felt a pang in my chest. The first and last kiss with the person I loved. But if it meant saving him, that I could bear this loneliness. Goodbye, Yui. Goodbye, Kuraha. Goodbye, Seiya. The light around me grew stronger until I could no longer hear Yui's voice. Goodbye, Hibiki. As long as I live, I'll never forget you. Then my whole body became wrapped in light. I saw the school of my own world spread out in front of me. With a sigh of relief, I immediately collapsed. When I woke up, I found myself in a hospital bed. My mother began crying tears of joy while my sister held a giant smile on her face. Then my best friend came rushing towards me. I still needed to decide my future, but I was sure whatever it was, it would be bright. Months had passed since then. Oh, we get it, ending to this end. Occasionally, I would stop in front of the mirror where Hibiki lived. Come to think of it, it's been quite some time since I've been back in my world. Though whenever I look in this mirror, I can't help but think of Hibiki and feel a little sad. I knew he wasn't here anymore, but there was something I wanted to tell him. So I built up my courage and headed to the mirror after school when nobody else was around. I stood directly in front of the mirror. Naturally, my face was the only thing reflected in it. So I thought back on Hibiki's smile and whispered softly. I talked with my mom about the future, and she finally agreed to let me make my own decision. Then I touched the mirror. My hands touched the cold, hard glass. It was a normal mirror after all. Hibiki, you must be laughing together with your parents in heaven right now, huh? One day I hope I can see you again. I spoke with a soft smile, then as I pulled my hand away... Oh? Out of a corner of the mirror I saw a dark shadow, but when I turned around there was no one, not even a shadow. This feeling... The chill ran down my spine and I turned quickly to leave when... I was stopped. That's so creepy. A dark shadow emerged in the mirror, its hand lashing onto mine.
寂しいねえこっち来て
You should die. Come here. Oh my goodness. I heard an inhuman voice that sounded like Hibiki's reverberating in my brain. A cold, dead hand made my whole body freeze. Is he a wraith? Yet I had a feeling I knew whose hand it was that seized me, Hibiki. The shadow's mouth opened so wide it looked as though its mouth were torn open.
好き好
Why? Before I could ask why this was happening, I felt myself being pulled into the mirror. I don't like that indeed. I should have known it since it was called Grasp of the Mirror. It sounded so happy. You know, she's lonely, sure, but Hibiki crossed over, right? Wrong. He became a wraith. Dang it. Poor Hibiki. And then poor Misa, she had to die again. Not again, but she had to die. Anyway. This one's going to be a little bit of a long one. We're just going to skip to the choices to do all of them to unlock the godly end, which is going to unlock our CG for this episode. Let's see. He said that to me. What do you mean that you like me? We're going to say I get nervous too. Sometimes you're so bold, Hibiki. So yeah, I get nervous too.
ドキドキしてくれてるんですか?
I mean, you're always saying things like, I like you, or I get nervous around you, and even would get nervous hearing things like that. As I honestly expressed my feelings to him, I could see Hibiki's expression grow more and more downcast.
そうですよね。嫌でも意識しちゃうというか。その通りです。
I never said I don't want to feel that way.
無理をしなくていいんです。
What I was trying to say wasn't that I was pushing myself, just that what he said made me nervous sometimes. The truth was, I didn't dislike the way Hibiki talked to me. If anything, it made me happy. But I won't tell him that now. I still don't know if these feelings are romantic or not. That was why I didn't want to fully accept or reject his feelings just yet.
思い当たることというか、楽しかった思い出は、これでおしまいです。
Alright, jump to unread text or next option. And we're going to say, I guess we've already read all these. Should I go home? Hibiki, do you want me to go home? Okay, there's some unread text right afterwards. Whenever she says, you're being so cold to me, the minute I said those words, his face changed into a wide smile.
そんなことないですよ。大好きなあなたに冷たくするなんて。僕は絶対にしません。
It was obvious to me that his words were not genuine. That I care about you sounded different. Realizing my own emotions, I found myself shocked. I've always taken for granted that Hibiki cares about me. I was so relieved. I would have never thought he would react like that. How selfish of me. I've been taking advantage of his feelings. All I could do was apologize quickly.
それじゃあ、また僕の幸せ探しをしましょう。多分、これできっと見つかります。
This time we are going to accept his feelings. I've got to get my head on straight. If this is what he needs to cross over, I wanted to accept his wishes. I'm gonna let him try and kiss you. Alright, so no new unread content, but we're gonna say his requests were strong. We trust you. We're going to tell you our name. Then we're going to jump to the next one. So this is the only other choice that differs from the heavenly end, right? Heavenly, yeah. So we're going to ask you a question, which we've already read. So we're going to skip until the credits, and then it will take us to the godly end. Okay, we're facing Skigami now, and it's new text. I was sure that Hibiki's mind was racing with a wide range of emotions. He's tried to say something before and he just can't, and Sei is about to take him away. Even so, it's meaningless unless Hibiki confronts this himself. I know, I didn't think it was right for her to like step in and say all those things for him, because it's not, I mean, I guess in this game it does help him, but really, does that really help a person if they don't face their regrets themselves? I turned to face him and gently put his hand in mine. It's all right. His wavering gaze started to settle down as his face regained its composure. His eyes, which had been wavering, gently calmed and his face regained its composure.
ありがとうございます。
Hibiki turned to face Kigami and took a few steps towards him. Then he stared directly down at the man kneeling on the ground before him.
許さないです。僕は絶対にあなたを許さない。僕だけじゃない。被害に遭った人たちみんながあなたを決して許しません。だからそれを背負って反省し続けてください。苦しみ続けてください。
Hibiki.
あとこれも知っておいてほしい。ゆいさんもあなたの罪を共に背負おうとしていると。
ユイが時間です。
That's probably the worst thing you could have said to him. You really want the man to suffer. There you go. Upon Seiya's signal, the two came and took Isao Kigami away. All the tension that had built up within Hibiki seemed to be released all at once. Then for some time he stared off in the direction that Isao Kigami had been taken off to. I leaned slightly next to him and Hibiki opened his mouth slowly.
反省しているからって許されるべきではないって今も思います。だってやったことは変わらないわけだし。でも話を聞いてよかったです。見え方がほんの少しだけ変わったから。
Why did you say that thing about Yui at the end?
それはかわいそうだなって思ったんです。あくまで憶測ですけど、あの親子は生きている頃からすれ違ったままだったんじゃないかな。それを考えると、僕はあんな風に死んだけど恵まれていた。
The expression on his face changed to one that seemed wistful and distant.
終わり方ばかり気にしていたけど、僕の人生は幸せだった。ちっとも不幸なんかじゃない。
Oh.
だから
He realizes that his life wasn't all that bad. He turned to me, his expression was glowing, radiant even. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. His smile was the clear blue sky after the storm.
すべてを振り返ってみて、もういいかなって。
Hibiki, that's amazing.
それもこれも全部あなたのおかげですよ。
I wonder. Honestly, here in hell, I wasn't sure if I could stand it, let alone be any help to you.
そんな風に思わないでください。あなたがそばにいて、言葉をかけてくれて、心を支えてくれたから。だから、今の僕があるんです。
His words were filled with a newfound confidence and vitality.
僕が成長して、心を入れ替えられたのは、あなたという存在あってこそ。これは絶対なんですから。
Hibiki's words of encouragement gradually made me begin to feel happy too. I'm so glad to hear that, Hibiki. The two of us returned to the school and walked towards the mirror. We were no longer in the mirror world and were instead in the strange hidden realm.
あなたのことをいつまでも見守っています。いえ、守護霊となって陰ながら力になりたい。あなたの人生が幸福で満ち溢れるように。
So he's not going to say any of those things after they get back, where he expresses his real desires. He wants her to die and stay there with him forever. Instead, he's like cheering her on and letting her go home without voicing any of that.
僕のことは忘れて。そして、もっと素敵な恋をしてください。今度は、ずっとそばにいてくれる人を。
Those were words I would never thought Hibiki would ever say. Doesn't want to, though. The bright smile on his face conversely made me feel as though I was about to cry. There's no way he's not sad. He's just trying to make saying goodbye easier. I love you, Hibiki.
僕だって、好きですよ。でも、あなたとは結ばれない。それは最初から分かっていましたから。
See, if you were to touch him right now, you would hear all of his inner thoughts that we heard in the last one. But no, if I were to cry now, but I've already felt the greatest love of my life. Aww. Love's more about than just being with the one you love. It's about how the other person makes you feel when you think about them, and I think that's enough for me. I had been thinking about this since we returned from hell. I mean, just because we can't physically be together, that's no reason to give up on love. So please, will you wait for me until I can come to your world?
まさか、死ぬ気じゃ。
Aw. No, of course not. I still have a lot to live for after all. That's why, as soon as I get back, I'm going to talk to my mom about my future, about my dad. I don't think she'll accept things right away, but I'll just have to keep at it no matter how many times it takes.
その強さが、あなたらしいです。
I was for sure certain that she was going to die in this one to be with him. Hibiki laughed happily, and then his face turned serious.
決して忘れないでください。僕があなたを好きだということを。大好きだという気持ちを。
And I love you. That won't change, I promise. I outstretched my pinky finger and he curled his around mine.
懐かしい。指切り剣満ですね。
And there were no visions, no sounds, no voices of hate or pain. Well, I guess his regrets really are totally gone.
知らなかったな。嬉しくても涙が出るなんて。
Don't cry. It's a first for me as well. Warm tears trickled down both of our faces.
あなたと再び会える日まで。こうして触れ合える日まで。待っています。
Is this one going to fast forward to the end?
ずっと、ずっと、待っています。
Hibiki began slowly fading away. I'll miss him. But I knew I'd see him again someday, though there was no reason to be sad. Perhaps this time I went back to my world. I wiped away the tears and took a step forward. I've got to do my best and live the best life I possibly can. Hibiki will be waiting for me from the heavens, and I wouldn't want to make him worry. Oh, is he crossing over? I thought when she said wait for him, she meant wait as a ghost. Oh, that's nice. He got to cross over then. I was waiting to the end of the theme song just in case it was different or if anything else was different. But then I remembered about changing my thumbnails. So if the thumbnails change, that's the reason why they're going to be changing. It's only been a year though, a little over a year since that day. I was finally graduated from high school, a little over a year. How long does high school go for in Japan? I'm thinking it's 3 years, right? But I didn't think she was 17. Maybe she was. I don't even know. And of course, I found my own path forward in life. I ended up having a long talk with my mother, and though it took her a while to accept how I was feeling, she finally understood. The spring came, and with it my graduation. However, there was one more place I wanted to stop. It would be the last time I'd be able to come here like this. I stood in front of the mirror where he once lived. I'm graduating today. I imagined Hibiki standing there and tried to talk with him. I wanted to come here before anyone else, so I came here early today. Whenever my life was filled with joy or trouble, I always wanted to tell him about it and often visited this mirror. But I know he's gone. This mirror is just like any other mirror now. Gently I patted my hands on the cold, hard mirror. Makes me sad though, I won't be able to come here as often as I could before. Surrounded by the crisp morning air, I heard only silence. Hibiki. It had been more than a year since we spoke. I still loved him tremendously and felt the love in my heart warm my chest. You said you were going to watch over me, right? Well, are you watching now, Hibiki? I asked of the empty space around me.
当たり前じゃないですか。
Did she hear that? Oh. Did he appear? Her hair is so much longer. Oh my goodness, my hair doesn't grow that long in a year. I couldn't believe my eyes, but I thought I saw him faintly in the mirror. What? But he didn't appear in the mirror. It looked as though he was next to me, touching me in front of the mirror. Is this a dream? A hallucination? I turned around to see if he was standing next to me, but there was nothing there. I couldn't feel his touch, but when I looked back at the mirror, there he was.
卒業おめでとうございます。
Hibiki.
今日はちょっと特別に神様にサービスしてもらいました。
You could do that.
あるんですよ。地獄に大観主様がいるみたいに、天国でも人情はあるんです。
Hey, the thing around his neck is gone. Yay. Also, his little bruise mark is gone too. I was so surprised, my eyes filled with tears of joy. I'm sorry, there's just so much I want to tell you. I was so filled with emotion, I found myself unable to speak.
式が始まる前に泣くなんて気が早いですね。
I'm crying because I get to see you, but you already know that.
幸せだな。僕のために泣いてくれる人がいて。
He laughed with a radiant smile that almost made him seem angelic.
ミサさん、進路のことよかったですね。これからきっと楽しい人生が待ってます。
I will, just you watch.
当たり前じゃないですか。これからもあなたの人生をずっと見守っています。そしてその人生の先にあるところで待っています。あなたを縛り付けるわけじゃないけど、ずっと僕を思ってくれているって信じてますから。
I will, that will never change. You'll always be in my heart, Hibiki.
その言葉が聞けて嬉しいな。僕は多分あなたと再び会うまで今よりも思いが大きくなっている気がして。重たい愛情でもいいですか？
Oh, so cute. You don't have to worry about that. I'll always love you, Hibiki.
よかった。ミサさん、愛しています。
Me too, from the bottom of my heart. After I told him that, I saw the mirror shimmer brilliantly in 7 different colors. And when the light was gone, he was gone with it. What a wonderful day. Celebrating this graduation with the person I love, I was filled with joy. I knew the road ahead would be filled with difficulties, but no matter how many times I failed, I'd never forget the strength I learned from him. That and the overflowing love he gave me. No doubt I can face anything that comes my way. I would continue forward and live a long life with the path I'd chosen, and I hoped that Hibiki would watch over me, a smile on his face. That was really bittersweet. Like, way more sweet than I was thinking a Hibiki ending would be. He let go of his possessive nature and let her live a happy life. So I said that I don't like endings where they...
卒業おめでとうございます。これからあなたの未来が大きく動いていきますね。僕はあなたが輝く姿をそっと見守っています。できることなら僕以外の人を好きにならないでくださいね。陰ながらありったけの愛を注ぎます。大好きです。
Okay, maybe he's still a little possessive. Don't fall in love with anyone other than me. I keep forgetting that they do this at the end of these endings. Sorry. What I was about to say was, I know I said that I don't like endings where they can't be together, but that one was pretty sweet. It's really sad though that she's not gonna be able to see him again until she dies though. I don't know. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. He's like, if possible, don't fall in love with anyone else. Okay, got it, Hibiki. Anyway, that's all of Hibiki's endings. Next, we're going to be going into Senna's route, and it's going to be a whole new common route. So there's probably going to be chapters. I don't know what to expect. So, because this is the first game I've ever played that has different common routes. So Senna's route will probably be a little bit longer just because of the new story. I'll do his in chapters just like I did this one. We're not going to do like a whole skip through thing. I'm expecting new CGs as well because it's still, like I said, a different common route. But yeah, look forward to that. I want to continue recording just because, like I said earlier, it's during the day right now and my daughter's at school and my husband's at work, so I need to get as much recorded as I can so that way I could just edit at night and be quiet. Anyway, if you guys did enjoy, drop a like down below and or subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.